we will meet one of our customer
releasing her waste.
about why scientists are referring our gut as a second brain.
Promote sikit. Tadi betul aku guna kan.
Welcome to week 6, My Luster Weekly. This week, we will meet one of our customer that has been taking our products for 20 years. And this is on Prebio Shots, and he will be sharing with us the benefit that his daughter actually get from taking Prebio Shots. So, we will be visiting him on one of these nights. I can't wait to meet them because it's really nice to see our products that help customers really improve their lives. So that's about this week. And what else? So this week there's a lot of the usual boring stuff that we need to do. We don't have to show you because it's gonna bore you. But anyway, this is part of the weekly My Luster, and I will be assessing some things new. Maybe some writings, I don't know. But anyway, stay with us. I'll be sharing with you all more about some new studies on prebiotics, on gut health. You know, we are big in gut health. So probably, I have these new studies that appear, and I need to read the studies, and I'll probably share with you all what the study shows. Simple. Try to make the science simple, and hopefully everyone will gain value out of this. Okay, we are at the customer's punya tempat, house. So we're visiting him. He wants to share a bit about the good experience that they have when they give the daughter our Bodyguard Prebio Shots. So they're going to share with us how Prebio Shots has helped their daughter in school and also generally in health.
Sebelah kan?
Yes.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum. It's okay kalau record. Ya. How are you? Apa khabar? Alhamdulillah. Okay. It's okay lah kalau macam want to take your video your daughter. Is it okay?
Boleh.
Ya? Okay.
Aku sendiri.
Apa khabar?
Baik.
Hello. Okay, tonight we are with Hisham and his daughter Inshira. So kita nak share some good stories about Prebio Shots where Inshira was introduced when she was 1 year old. So Hisham,
Yes.
Can you share with us more about how you introduced your daughter with Prebio Shots?
At first, she was having some sickness. Macam sakit-sakit sikit lah. Then apparently she has trouble releasing her waste.
Okay.
Dia susah nak berak. So
Constipate and all that lah.
So
kan?
since I have like some knowledge regarding Prebio M or NT, regarding my eczema last time, right?
Yeah.
So I eventually buy for her Prebio Shots just to try out lah. Because since it's suitable for 1 year old.
Yeah,
and above,
it is
right?
suitable,
Suitable for 1 year old. So just buy it, then give it to her lah. Then apparently we encountered stuff like she had a diet, she like a bad, dia susah nak ya.
Oh, okay.
Susah nak
Constipation
ya.
lah. Bad
Constipation lah.
Okay.
Then after that, just give her like Prebio Shots, like put it in the milk. She just drink it.
Okay.
She likes mango.
Okay.
So it's just a nice combination for her.
Okay, now we are with Inshira's mother juga. Yeah, so Inshira, it's not preschool, right? It's
Playgroup.
playgroup, right?
Yeah.
So what's the difference that you see when she was in the playgroup and then after she took Prebio and Prebio Shots?
I think because when she started her school, she have gotten used to the initial teachers. Because when she's younger, she's a lot more playful. So she gels well with her initial teachers lah. But when she went up to PM2, that's where her anxiety came about lah. Also because she wasn't on the Prebio, because we stopped for a while. And then the teacher suddenly gave a remark that she is super quiet in class, which is a stark difference from the PN1 teachers. The PN1 teachers say at least she interacts with the classmates, ataupun if there's any problem, like maybe her classmate take stuff from her, she will tell the teacher, my friend take something, or teacher. But for the PN2 teachers, she did not interact with anybody. So she is just on her own. When teacher asked to do work, she just sit there quietly, just stare, smile. And then she don't really interact with her classmates like she did with the PN1. So I think it's the change of environment also add-ons to the anxiety lah. So we decide to get her back on the pre-bio. Yeah, that's where after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, the teacher actually remarked lah, say she's now at least more responsive. Like she responds to at least one of the teachers' queries. Then she is more she take part during class lessons a lot more than before that lah, previously. So I believe that plays a part lah.
So once we have the prebiotics for the gut, it helps with the gut microbiome. That's where it controls the constipation, because constipation is one end of the irritable bowel syndrome. So we have a lot of customer juga with small children yang use prebiotics sampai sekarang, and the prebiotics also help them in their punya constipation dengan eczema juga issues. So some ada macam gitu punya issues lah. Yeah. So you like it? Zoom in.
Sedap.
Sedap tak?
Sedap tak Insyirah? Ya?
Yes.
Fatin. Wah, ni apa? Kenapa ada ni? Kau nak contoh kau buat rajin buat kerja?
Nak highlight apa kertas.
Fatin je paling busy lah. Accountant. Kalkulator pun besar-besar.
Mesti.
Din, explain apa yang ada kat meja kau sikit.
Meja aku semua barang-barang kerja tu.
Kuat sikit.
Aku ni orang kuat kerja Mana ada
Ini ada barang kerja ke?
barang kerja.
Barang kerja apa?
Kalau stres ni akan semua.
Apa tu?
Nak mandi.
Flavor apa?
Level tak lah. Bau-bau Arab sikit. Bau-bau Mekah.
Go to Leha. Leha paling banyak lah.
Ada banyak.
Ni apa? Kau makan ke?
Makan ni bawa satu, ada banyak botol lagi kat rumah.
Apa
saya.
bukti kau makan?
Bukti dia.
Tengoklah kulit saya.
Tengok. Itu saja. Seberping.
Apa? Air
Air putih je, air jarang.
Air jarang?
Air jarang.
Air jarang tu air apa?
Oh,
Jarang jumpa?
air putih, air ni lah, air kosong.
Oh. Dalam banyak meja tadi. Tengok ni. Ada apa ni? Ada rumput.
Rumput.
Kenapa ini nak menunjukkan nampak dia?
Dia kalau pagi kena siram dulu.
Jadi ni air minum kau ke air siram?
Siram. Air minum ni. Kongsi.
Dia mengekalkan nampak ada rumput lagi. Ada pokok.
Nampak ada hijau-hijau ni, dia lawa lah, dia cantik. Dia macam penaik seri. Cuba contoh ni hilang. Nampak? Cuba kalau dia hilang. Nampak tak kosong? Macam kalau ada balik. Nampak?
Sekejap.
Cermin ni untuk tengok kita. On point tak? Tak ada.
Mari. Berapa banyak botol anda bawa ni?
Ini botol air. Satu hari kena minum 2 liter.
2
Situ.
liter. Ni apa?
Air kopi.
Kopi? Ni tak okey lah. Ni air kopi pula.
Air kopi kena minum pagi-pagi. Kalau tidak kita tak function. Kita tak boleh nak buat kerja. Kita tak boleh nak buat kerja.
Ni kau makan ke?
Makan 2 kali sehari. 2 kali sehari.
Macam tak makan je?
Makan. Kau tak nampak kot.
Apa yang ada kat meja kau ni? Macam-macam
Sekejap aku
ada.
buat. Aku buat botol. Air dah habis. Sekarang kau apa?
Sekejap, macam baru beli je tu.
Tak, dah habis. Sekarang pukul 11.
Okay.
Satu ni memang aku habiskan sebelum pukul 12.
Satu hari berapa kali kau isi?
2 kali je.
2 kali.
Cukup lah.
Okay. So yang sana tu ada
Tu pun dah banyak dah terkeluar. Benda lah.
macam-macam ada kat situ.
Ni ada kamera lah. So aku kena shoot.
Standby lah.
Jai, ni mic. Ni serabut sikit, serabut. Sebab
Dia orang paling busy.
aku on the go. So, macam ni lah. Apa aku boleh capai, terus pergi shoot je. Oi. Ini kena tutup bang. Air ni kena tutup. Sekarang lalat masuk kan?
Apa ni? Ni apa konten apa ni?
Apa yang ada kat meja kau?
Apa ada kat meja aku?
Explain sikit.
First aku rasa ni paling penting lah.
Kalender.
Aku tak rasa dia orang gunakan sepenuhnya, tapi aku gunakan sepenuhnya.
Sebab Nabil banyak orang nak jumpa, tempat tu guna kan.
Lepas tu ni.
Wah.
Promote sikit. Tapi betul aku guna kan. So tiap pagi aku masuk office, aku akan makan ni lah dulu.
Ni sebab Nabil ada hari besar dia. Hari besar tu faham-faham lah.
Ni betapa lagi. Ni lah buku aku. Ni semua notes lah. Kalau apa-apa. Ni semua dah habis lah ni. Dah penuh. So tambah lagi. Nanti dia akan tinggi-tinggi di sini.
Lepas tu kau buat apa? Kau buat hiasan ke kau tengok balik?
Aku buat Wall of China.
Tak ada yang cermin tu.
cermin.
Kalau laki seorang pun tak ada cermin. Ni tengok kau seorang laki ada cermin.
Aku bukan lelaki.
Kau buat apa? Apa mention? Kau make up ke apa?
Bukan. Kadang-kadang macam aku bosan-bosan tak ada sebab kat sini aku duduk seorang. So kadang-kadang kalau tak ada orang nak sembang, aku sembang dengan diri aku.
Ambul. Dah teruk sangat ni Bil. Aduh. Okay.
Well, what makes you start and then when do you start? How do you start?
Very, very young. As I was saying kan, ever since I was in school, schooling days. So I'm that like tomboy girl who just like skip my recess time to just run with the boys. So basically I will really talk to them first. I really have to tap on their emotions and then where they are in their head space kan. Macam diorang like not physically inclined in all these things. You know like if anything happens at home ke apa kan, you nak masuk, example that whole day, whole stretch, one whole day you ada 10, 12 appointments kan, you kena masuk, muka you nak kena straight tau.
Hey guys, what's up? So this week I just want to update. It's a learning week for me actually. I've been reading a lot on the internet and also using AI to help me fine-tune the search for studies that I want to read. And I find this very interesting, so I want to share with you this week about why scientists are referring our gut as a second brain. You know, our brain, our gut. So the gut is the second brain. Okay, not only because of a lot of the nervous system that is found in the whole of our gut. You know our gut, right? From the small intestine to the large intestine, the length of the whole tube is roughly about 5-6 meters. So there's a very long length of tube. And throughout this whole length, our body supplies nervous system or nerves from the brain down to the what do you call that? Our backbone, and then to our gut. So imagine the length of 5 to 6 meters of tube, all supplied with nerves, and those nerves are neurons from our brain. And the article down here I'm reading, right, is from the Stanford University Wu-Tsai Neurosciences Institute. So this is heavy science. And they said down there that, and it turns out this network of intestinal neurons, termed by scientists the enteric nervous system, can actually have a lot of impact on our daily lives. Not just in controlling things like our appetite, but may contribute to our mental well-being as well. And potentially even to disorders ranging from anxiety to Parkinson's disease. Which reminds me, when last time when I was still in the pharmaceutical industry, when I was selling drugs to the doctors, medical doctors, and I went to speak to one gut specialist, and he mentioned to me, doctors then, and this was like in the late 90s, they already know what affects the brain will affect the gut, and what affects the gut will affect the brain. So now the science is even heavier, and more studies have proven how this relationship works through the vagus nerve and so on and so forth. So there is a gut-brain barrier, gut-skin barrier. So very interesting. And just in case, if let's say you guys want to listen to the podcast, and this is a podcast actually, I just share with you from our neurons to yours. Wu-Tsai Neurosciences Institute, Stanford University. I'll have it here, the page, and you can see for yourself. So this week, this is what I'm going to share. What affects our brain will affect our gut, and the gut is referred to as our second brain. And it is the end of the week again. And as usual, it is not the end of the week for me. Thank you for being with us throughout the whole of week 6. And this week is all about learning for me. Yes, learning new things and also to keep up with my science. I have been searching the web for new studies for ingredients that we use and also for general updates on health, specifically on the our industry, which is functional foods and health supplements. Whatever that is for me to improve on my knowledge. So keeping abreast to updates and new findings is very important for us. I have shared with you earlier this week on the gut and brain axis. So it got us thinking, and the team and I have been discussing probably moving forward in the future. Every week when you watch our series, we want to add more value. So we are thinking of including a new segment for our weekly video where I will share with you snippets of or nuggets of information and knowledge about general health, about the functional foods and ingredients, so that we can understand better whatever that we consume, we eat, how it can affect or give benefit to us, to our body. So that is one of the plans that we have moving forward for MyLaster Weekly. And the reflections of this week. Now, when I started this business, I know that knowledge behind whatever that we do is very important. From the pharma background and the cell molecular background that I have, I understand that it is very important that we do proven science, and not just proven science, but historical knowledge that can be brought forward, that can benefit a lot of people. Because they always say that we are what we eat, right? There's truth in it. And we know that whatever we eat will affect our gut microbiome, and the gut microbiome basically has a very strong influence in our health and our daily wellness, right? We know that what affects the brain, or what affects the gut will affect the brain. And now, in modern days, probably the world, but I know in Singapore, a lot of people are facing anxiety. So the incidence of anxiety is increasing more and more now. Perhaps they are affected by the food that we eat, so much processed food probably, much lesser fiber, and probably the link with the microbiome in our gut plays a very important role. And that's why a lot of studies are proving bit by bit over time. And that is also the reason why that I must always keep abreast and updated with the latest studies pertaining to areas that we are in. So yeah, so this will be the future for MyLaster Weekly, and we will try our best to share nuggets of information and knowledge to you so that you find value in following us. Well, that's all that we have for this week. Next week I will be in KL office to work with the team. I haven't been there for about 3 weeks now, and I'm excited to work with them again. And I will update you on KL office next week. Thank you, and join me next week to live life.